Hello and welcome to Defender Round 16, the final group, Group D, to decide our last two advances to the playoffs. And two of the candidates are here waiting for us on Deadwing. First of them is up in the top left-hand corner, spawning into the red Zerg. From Team Composite, it is Afracanis. And he's going to be playing against, tonight, the yellow Zerg down the bottom right-hand corner. Spawning in the yellow, from All Inspiration, gdoggcasey. And they were having a little chat in the lobby earlier on about who got yellow, because Team Composite's team colour is apparently yellow, but gdoggcasey likes yellow. And so after this game, if Afracanis can manage to take the game off gdoggcasey, gdoggcasey will give him yellow. So just fun little behind-the-scenes fact. Either way, gdoggcasey is actually going for, as we can see here, a little 10 pool, which is, it's going to be tough to make it work because Afracanis is scouting and it's on Deadwing. So, what's Afracanis doing with that drone there? No, I wondered whether he was being sneaking, trying to sneak in a spine crawl or spore crawl or something, but he's just getting a full scout off. So he's going to know what he's up against. He was sending a drone out looking like hatch first, but he does turn around and make a pool instead, which I think is exactly the right choice. So he shouldn't have too much trouble holding this off. If he's lucky, the lings will even go the wrong way first, but I think it is better to send them cross first if you don't know exactly where your opponent's spawning, and then you can redirect them as necessary. So that's what I'm expecting gdoggcasey to do, but we could see something else. But yeah, here come the lings out of gdoggcasey. 10 pool, he's currently getting 6 lings. I don't know whether he's going to commit to any more. Yeah, he's going to go over 10 lings, currently at 12. So that becomes increasingly all in. I do a lot of 10 pools on ladder, and I just build 10 lings, and it's pretty economic. You can get away with doing no damage as long as you just deny your opponent's natural for long enough. And it looks like gdoggcasey is going to deny his opponent's natural for quite a while. Actually, securing his own down there, or preparing to secure his own quite a bit faster than his opponent will be able to. But the lings come into the main right now, and Afracanis only has 4 lings, gdoggcasey 6 right here. But a couple more are about to pop, so 2 come out and even up the link count. Afracanis is going to push gdoggcasey back, and yeah, gdoggcasey should really just be trying to take control of the low ground here and deny a hatchery coming down for as long as possible, because he's got 12 lings out. He should be able to do that for quite a while. It'll take some time for Afracanis to actually either build up a link count or push down with spine crawler. But when he does, he'll have speed much faster than gdoggcasey, because gdoggcasey's gone for the economic transition after this rather than just transitioning into speed or into banelings or into more and more of an all-in. So gdoggcasey is currently down in workers, but when his second hatchery comes in, he starts getting a lot of extra production off that. He should even it up and possibly even come out a little ahead, though he'll still behind in the tech game because his gas is still very late, still no gas at all actually. And Afracanis is moving out and moving down that here now that his speed is about to finish up. But gdoggcasey has timed this very well. I think he got the scouter up with a couple of lings, so he's going to head back home and prepare to defend the counter push with a couple spine crawlers. It's going to be a little tough, but he should be able to. If he loses his natural, it's pretty bad for him, because that is basically his only advantage in this game. So he really wants to hold on to that natural. That's weird. Some of the lings just in the top right-hand corner were, the gdoggcasey tactically redirecting Afracanis' lings. But anyway, Afracanis went a little off course there, but is going to catch up to gdoggcasey's lings now. He can take them out and then go to work on the hatchery or jump up in the drone line. If he does try and get into the drone line, there's 2 spine crawlers very shortly about finished, and in fact the 2 queens on the ramp should be able to prevent the lings getting into the main base, but they're just going to kill this hatchery down there. gdoggcasey's going to try and save it, but it's too late at this point though. So the hatchery does fall, and that's kind of a problem because it's only his only real advantage. He still doesn't have any gas. He has no way of getting any tech advantage, any upgrade advantage or anything like that. Roaches could do something here, but I mean, he's going to need gas. Oh, he's taking gas. There we go. Oh, no. Oh, no, I'm looking at two different production tabs. Afracanis is going for the roaches, whereas gdoggcasey is just trying to get his gas. I imagine he'll get some, probably banelings before speed. But getting caught out in the middle of the map a little bit here. Afracanis can't really take this fight, even with his speed upgrade. He could have run past and trying to get some damage done to gdoggcasey's main base, but instead he's just going to run back after buying a little bit of time with the lives of some of his lings to get some replacements out. So, I don't know, gdoggcasey is going to find it difficult to get much damage done here, and even when he does lose the fight, he comes into a fight like this, which he can't win, he can't retreat from this. He might as well turn around and fight, because he's never going to outrun speedlings. And yeah, he doesn't. All the links to gdoggcasey have been cleaned up. He's got 4 spine crawlers, which, I mean, that main shouldn't really get broken for a little while. But Afracanis is okay with that. If Afracanis just sits out at the bottom of the ramp at the natural and take control of that, make sure that gdoggcasey can't ever expand off one base. It's kind of difficult. Kind of difficult to play out one base versus 2 base, especially in mirror matchups where, or if you go into the Roach Wars, as we're seeming to have both the players transitioning. Roach Wars are very much econ battles, with both players just sort of smacking money into each other until they fall down. But yeah, gdoggcasey seemed to he seemed to be a little unsure what to do with his lings, although it was a bit difficult when Afracanis got the drone scout right out, just went straight to gdoggcasey's base. He obviously had all the information he needed to be able to prepare for the 9 pool, but I don't know. Still, I think gdoggcasey played out as best he could in circumstances, but right now it's going to be very, very difficult to hold. He's going to need some good transfuses. He actually misses the transfuses on the first screen. The second screen is going to fall almost immediately, and now he catches the 2 spine crawlers with the time to reburrow. There's 2 more backing them up, but these 2 are going to go down without really doing any damage at all. The next 2, the lings are actually just going to retreat from the extra 2 spine crawlers. So, I mean, yeah, gdoggcasey though still can't fight that game out, and GG. Alright, here we are on Overgrowth 4, map 2 of our best of 3 series. It could be the final map, and desperately hoping it isn't, is this player down the bottom left-hand corner. Spawning in as the Yellow Zerg, once again actually, from Team All Inspiration, gdoggcasey. And a bit of a role reversal here. We've actually got Afracanis going for the 10 pool, and he's committing to it a little more, getting the gas up, and he's just going for 10 pool speed, so no banelings, nothing like that. But yeah, it could get interesting here. I think the Temple with speed is a lot. Well, obviously, it's a lot stronger than just straight up 10 pooling. But I'm wondering how Afracanis is going to play this out. Whether he's just going to wait with the lings and build up a good count until until speed finishes, and then he rushes them all across the map. It looks like that's what he's doing. He's trying to hide his lings away in the back. But gdoggcasey should be getting a little nervous at the lack of a natural around this time. Because he can see that area with his Overlord, of course. So he knows there's something fishy going on. That's going to be completely confirmed when he sees these lings move out. Speed's about 10 seconds away, 20 seconds away. So gdoggcasey does have a little bit more time to prepare. I kind of would have preferred Afracanis to move out after speed finishes, so he gains the benefit of the increased rush distance. But I guess he hits a little earlier this way, either way. But he gives gdoggcasey a little bit more foreknowledge to prepare. gdoggcasey actually commits to 2 spines on his main base and immediately cancels the natural. I think he probably would have been better to either even cancel that a little faster, or in fact let it finish to give his spines a little time to finish. But actually, he's holding very, very nicely as it is down here. His lings didn't train south admirably until now. They step a little bit too far away from the drone count. But the spine claw's finished, so he's pretty safe. There's not really any angle the Link for Africanis can find, but they will. I mean, they'll be able to get control over the natural location and stop gdoggcasey expanding until Afracanis wants them to, at least for the foreseeable future. When gdoggcasey's finished up his own speed in a minute and a half or so, it'll be a little bit of a different story. But for now, Afracanis is actually, there's one more wave of Lings come across the map, and he's gone back to droning at home and thrown down his own expansion. And gdoggcasey can see the expansion and I suppose surmise from that the droning. But Afracanis moves in here. Now, I don't know whether he saw the 2 spine crawlers being built. He does see the 2 spine crawlers being built. So he knows there's 2 spine crawlers. He's not going to go, well, that means you move your spine crawler out of the mineral line and run around. So that's nice for him. But, of course, gdoggcasey might have been hoping that for that to happen. Because I would have thought a single spine crawler is a much more typical response to that. Because the one at the back, actually, or the one in his mineral line, they've both got hits off now. They've spread hits between them, but neither of them have actually got a kill. So the one he could have done, gdoggcasey could have done fine with just one in his mineral line. The one up front isn't really doing that much. I mean, denied a single Link scout, but that probably would have died quickly anyway. So now that speed's finished for gdoggcasey, he's going to try and wrap around and stop Afracanis from leaving. And he is going to get a really, really good fight here. Afracanis tries to run away and gets away with a handful of Lings, but gdoggcasey has already really, really tipped the balance of units in his favor. And now Afracanis is a little bit scared, I'd imagine. He's got his Roach Warren down, but he's not building any units. He needs a lot of Lings independence. He's actually just going to sack his natural and try and hold the main in much the same fashion as gdoggcasey did against his aggression. So there we go. gdoggcasey spending a little too long fighting broodlings, but runs around and goes up in the main base. I'm not sure he can take this fight. There's very nearly transfused energy on the queen, but if he kills off all the Lings pretty cost efficiently, he might be able to take this queen. And yeah, there's still a fair few Lings left over, but with a transfuse on one of the queens and the other one very near it, I think it's a bit of a problem if he'd overcommitted there. But he does back off, trades Lings for the Lings, but Afracanis is still alive, just. Though gdoggcasey is transitioning into a roach push here, who's 7 roaches coming out, and those are going to march across the map. And when they do, I would have thought Afracanis would be able to deal with it pretty well with Lings. Lings in low numbers and without upgrades coming into play do really quite well against roaches. So gdoggcasey is just going to, I think, use these for defense. If he can get them in tight choke points, they do much better than if there's Lings completely surrounding them. The 2 spine crawlers as well are going to help out an enormous amount in defense, because and now gdoggcasey has a natural up. He's got a little bit of a drone lead, just 3 drones, and he can capitalize that, compound on it. He's actually is going to push out across the map with his roaches. Afracanis is going to see this coming. I don't think this Ling force can take care of it yet, but a couple of Lings, or a couple of roaches even from Afracanis are coming in. So when he gets a few more reinforcements, he should be able to fight this roach force that gdoggcasey is trying to bring to bear on him. And yeah, let's just have a look at Afracanis space. There's 4 more cocoons with roaches just about to pop, and his tech up. Nothing too much going on. It's just Ling roach. Kind of surprised to see no banelings in this series so far, but they do make things a little bit hectic. And here we go. He's coming to engagement. Afracanis is going to try and wrap around with his Lings again, doing really well at stopping gdoggcasey from retreating. But gdoggcasey doesn't need to retreat. There's a bunch of roach reinforcements coming, and they're going to completely drive Afracanis back. All of his Lings have been lost, and a lot of his roaches, or a couple of his roaches, are on pretty low health. And it's a pretty low roach count as it is, and with more and more Ling reinforcements piling in for gdoggcasey, he might have done it. He might be about to even up the score. He's completely flooding over the natural. GG, and gdoggcasey does manage. All right, hello. We're on King Shijong Station as promised, and our first players down the bottom right-hand corner. Once again in the yellow, and still on team or inspiration. It is gdoggcasey. And He's going to be playing against the Zerg player found in the top left-hand corner. In the red trunks, representing Composite Esports, it's Afracanis. I'm just looking at the Team Composite logo, and it's actually, I assumed it was composite as in like a composite bow or composite materials, but actually it's a picture of, you know, composite audio leads. So I don't know. I don't really know what to make of that. But I do know what to make of this game a little bit more. And what I look at it and see, as I see, Afracanis has obviously gone for a hatch first, whereas gdoggcasey going for much faster pool. Still getting his hatch down. It wasn't like a cheese pool. I think it was about 14 or 15. So gdoggcasey just trying to play it a little safe and not looking to actually put on any aggression without any lings out. He won't be able to punish Afracanis for his hatch first, and Afracanis will be able to get away with the extra econ, the extra production of that really fast hatchery, which is, you know, a nice little early game boost to him. Of course, gdoggcasey's isn't too far behind it, so it's all good. But Afracanis actually the first to get his lings out on the field, despite being the second player to put a pull down. So both players, you know, make their forces make their way out to the front of the natural. But in gdoggcasey's case, they've actually stopped there. They're just, you know, waiting on patrol. Whereas Afracanis is looking to put a bit of pressure on, which is really interesting. Having, you know, a hatch first with pressure trying to be applied. So I'm not sure how much these sixlings are going to get done here, but I mean, there's only 4 for gdoggcasey, so he might kill a ling or 2. But the queens, you know, the queens and the lings combined should be able to should be more than enough to deal with this. Yeah, it's just going to focus down a couple of drones. Where is he? A little bit indecisive there. If he'd just gone for the drone, then he would have got a drone kill and, you know, gotten away pretty well. But actually now gdoggcasey has his speed finished, and Afracanis, he can't run. He can't hide either, because lings have the same vision radius as your opponent's lings. So yeah, gdoggcasey chased down all of Afracanis' lings, and now Afracanis basically has to rely on his queens and a handful of lings. He's actually even building Spore Caller to keep his units alive. But gdoggcasey, a few more lings do make their way into the main. I have some more coming across the map as well. They're going to get some good surrounds on the queens and taking quite a lot of damage from Afracanis' Zerglings, but they are going to take one of the queens down. Is the other queen is going to fall as well? Is it? Oh, 14 health off. Not quite bringing it down. But it looks like that's the end of the aggression from gdoggcasey. So I don't know, maybe if he had committed a little bit more to it, he would have been able to do some serious damage. But what he's already done is forced Afracanis into panic building a bunch of Zerglings. Afracanis has 22 Zerglings out on the map right now. He doesn't really want 22 Zerglings. And gdoggcasey is, I mean, he'd be more okay with Afracanis having 22 Zerglings if he wasn't so ill prepared to deal with 22 Zerglings. He's, you know, showing his love for spine crawlers once again by getting 3 of them down his natural, and they should be able to drive off these Zerglings. But it's really a question of how many drones he loses in the meantime. And actually, with a really timely evacuation, the answer is going to be none. So very, very nicely done there by gdoggcasey. And both players transitioning into Roach 1. Afracanis a little bit faster. Still no Baneling Nest for either player in the entire series. So that's a really, really interesting sort of quirk, because I mean, Ling Bane is pretty much the staple of ZVZ. It's very, very rare to see Zerg game without, you know, both of those units, as well as usually a couple of roaches. But I don't know, it's just an interesting little stylistic choice. Afracanis going for his upgrades as well. He's got 2 Evo Chambers, currently just researching the 1. Plus that is the +1 ranged attack upgrade, which is a really crucial upgrade for ZVZ, because generally you'll go for Roaches or Roach Hydra. Both of them scale really, really strongly with attack upgrades. Roaches getting +2 damage per shot, and Hydralisk, of course, just having a really, really fast fire rate. The +2 damage per shot as well enables the Roaches to 2-shot rather than 3-shot lings, which make them an incredible amount more effective when they're actually dealing with those fast, low-health units, such as lings, and to a lesser extent, I guess, Hydralisk. Hydralisk quite low health as well, and actually are countered by Roaches, just because they have so little health. But yeah, Afracanis did try and run a couple of lings in just a minute ago, as we saw, and gdoggcasey did very, very nicely in denying that. And now gdoggcasey is going to try and move out across the map with his little roach force. It does get spotted by Afracanis, of course, so he should be prepared to deal with this. There's a spine crawler coming down. He's already got one finished, and there's a good amount of queens, each with a healthy dose of energy. So we'll see how much gdoggcasey can actually manage to get done here. Afracanis is actually going to try and run down the ramp, but that's a little bit ballsy, and given that gdoggcasey has so many reinforcements coming in. There's quite a lot of lings out for gdoggcasey, and they're not going to be too effective unless Afracanis leaves his ramp wide open like this. But yeah, it looks like he's just moving his army around, trying to get a good position. But as two of the queens go up to do an inject, gdoggcasey decides it's time to strike. A lot of the lings are going in, but again, the lings can't really get any kind of surface area while Afracanis is fighting in that choke, and with two spine crawlers poking away at lings and roaches, gdoggcasey decides it is best to just retreat back home, consolidate on his third base, and yeah, just keep things moving smoothly. He is getting his +2 upgrades as well. Oh, sorry, he's getting double +1 upgrades, but a fair amount later than Afracanis is. Afracanis is only producing off of one one evolution chamber, despite having two. He's just got the one researching armor. So, I mean, when armor finishes, they'll be on equal upgrades. They'll both be on 1/1. But until that time, Afracanis has the +1 ranged attacks, which is the more important of the two upgrades, whereas gdoggcasey just doesn't have any upgrades at all, so that's bad, or at the very least not good. So yeah, it looks like gdoggcasey actually is building up an army here, just using this third hatchery, or hatchery at his third base location, just as sort of macro hatchery. He hasn't done any mining there. He's just been producing a load of units. So I'm wondering when we're going to see him start droning again. And we see a couple of drones being squeezed out now. He is, of course, a little bit supply gap, so these 5 overlords are going to pop and fix that. But hold on right now. We've got Afracanis moving down the ramp. Backs back out. I think that's the right decision. gdoggcasey's army is a little bit superior right now, despite the fact that Afracanis has higher army supply. So much of that is in production or walking across the map or just lings, that gdoggcasey's army back at home where it's comfortable is much more powerful. Afracanis, though, is just looking for a different attack angle, and he's going to find gdoggcasey's army a little bit out of position. So he's going to try and plunge on this hatchery. I don't think he's going to get it, but he has the opportunity for a pretty nice engagement here. He starts off with a great concave. gdoggcasey has a lot of his roaches not attacking. Stuff steps a few forwards, but reinforcements coming from Afracanis as well means that gdoggcasey's roaches are taking fire from all sides and do have to back off. Eventually, yeah, I mean, Afracanis could turn around here, and he is going to, and try and take care of this third base. And it looks like he should be able to pick that off. I don't really see gdoggcasey being able to do that much about it, although these lings or these roaches coming in, he might be able to drive the force away. But again, gdoggcasey has so many roaches milling around in the map not attacking, whereas Afracanis just has literally 2. But it's alright, gdoggcasey's just got more roaches, and that is the most important thing. That's what Christmas is all about. So gdoggcasey cleans it up without a huge amount of trouble. He takes a bit of damage on his hatchery, but it's okay. He didn't really lose any drones. I think he might have lost a queen or 2 maybe, but the only vague problem for him is currently he has, for Afracanis that is he has to figure out how to deal with gdoggcasey's army, which is currently marching across the map. The answer he's chosen is the 3 spine crawlers he built from earlier. Well, he's just going to park them at the bottom of this ramp, this being the main attack angle we see people take in King Shadong, because obviously it's the shortest distance. But actually, gdoggcasey is doing something really sneaky, really clever, and he's going to be going around the back and trying to break down this destructive debris, the rocks, into the main base. But Afracanis actually does spot him doing so. There's a couple overlords round and about. The overlords can actually see units on the bottom side of the debris. But if gdoggcasey breaks this down now, it makes Afracanis a lot more open to some ling run-bys or some roach run-bys or whatever gdoggcasey wants to do through that passageway he's just opened up. It looks like, actually, wow, gdoggcasey doesn't have roach speed. I didn't realize that. So Afracanis is going to be able to chase him down. Looks like he's actually just going to take an engagement here. I think gdoggcasey's army is a little superior, but with the reinforcements, Afracanis should be able to win this out. Plus the fact that his concave is just incredibly much better than gdoggcasey. Oh, and the +2 upgrades also helping him out quite a bit. So yeah, pretty even in just in the army count, but a ton of little upgrades, a ton of little advantages combined to give Afracanis a pretty crushing engagement. And gdoggcasey is trying to regroup. He doesn't have the benefit of those 3 spine crawlers parked down the bottom of the ramp. He's actually just got them still waving their heads in the main, and looks like Afracanis is trying to threaten this third base again. There aren't too many drones at it for gdoggcasey, so I wouldn't imagine he'd care that much he lost it, but there's enough. And Afracanis evidently thinks there are enough of his roaches as well. He's going to completely surround gdoggcasey's army, take that out. A few more reinforcements are going to take pot shots at gdoggcasey as he retreats, and yeah, Afracanis is... He's just A-moving at this point, and he can absolutely afford to. There's a few roaches that are attacking reinforcements, a Hiveless Den. It doesn't really matter. If I was Afracanis, I'd be, you know, in the same thing, concentrating on my macro, let my units take care of themselves, and I think it's absolutely the right thing to do. Afracanis should be able to deal with reinforcements as and when they come out from gdoggcasey. The third base has been completely routed, just leaving a few roaches there to, you know, guarantee the damage, keep gdoggcasey from ever feeling too comfortable. And he tries to push up the ramp, but is rebuffed by the spine crawlers, by the queens, by the roaches. And so what he's going to do is he's just going to take the third base, sit at the bottom of the ramp, and think, it's fine, everything's good. So Afracanis is going to seize on the opportunity to trade a little bit more with gdoggcasey's army before a last volley from some roaches takes out the third base, and a lot of the drones with it as well. Afracanis also getting an infestation pit up, so he could get, obviously, infestors with that. It could be for going in Swarm Host, or we could even see a high for some really, really fast Zerg, +3 upgrades, or for Vipers. Vipers are pretty good, especially if you combine them with Fungal, because then your opponents can't move and they can't shoot, which is exactly what you want your opponents to be, you know, doing, really. Not moving, not shooting, but Afracanis is going to try and push up this ramp again. gdoggcasey's army comes down to meet him, but these spine crawlers are doing as much work as they can. One of them's already fallen, but I think Afracanis just has too many roaches, and the other spine crawler goes down. The last spine crawler falls as well, and Afracanis still has a large army supply advantage. Hive is coming up behind this. More roaches are streaming across the map. He's got 10 in production, 7 now, and yeah, gdoggcasey has really one more wave. Not even going to try. I don't think it would have mattered. And yeah, Afracanis takes that 2-1.